of giving their MPs one term Kenya.
That's right.
So, yes, so it's going to be interesting to see how the incumbent assessor will fare against Rafael Japan, Kennedy Japan's younger brother. That is really a constituency that the delegates are going to be very rich because money is going to play a very key factor in this one.
So let's hone in now on Bantama, as you've landed on that. You have Francis Asensu-Boakye, Honorable, facing off against Kennedy Ohene Ejapon's brother, younger brother, lawyer Ralph Ejapon. Now, in terms of some of the happenings as far as the Bantama constituency is concerned, it's one of the areas that has sparked a lot of conversation, especially where we heard the MP for Asin Central, Honorable Kennedy Ejapon, make certain pronouncements on the incumbent, Honorable Francis Asensu-Boakye. And as you mentioned, it's one of these constituencies that, typically MPs get one term, apart from, Madam Cecilia Dapa, who had a double term. What would you say accounts for that? And as you say, money is going to play a role. Would it be the case then that Honorable Francis Asensu-Boakye would have an upper hand in this case? Break that down for us.
Well, I think that, one of Kennedy's statements, you see, what I suspect is that during Kennedy's battle for the NPP flag bearership, Asensu did make quite a number of remarks against him. And Kennedy has said that he's heard that Asensu intends to give every delegate 5,000 cedis, and he's going to outpay him. And for the delegates, it's the politicians and the members of parliament, when they win, it's the politicians over time, Helen, who have made the delegates so money conscious. Getting to election year, the MPs especially pampered them. Once they win for 2-3 years, they forget about them. So for the delegates they struggle to win as delegates, and for delegates to lose their cocoa season, and especially in the Ashanti region, one of the methods that I have labeled wound to me methodology. If you give them money, bigger amount, then you make them swear that they will vote for you. So I'm sure if what Kennedy, obviously Kennedy wasn't talking out of nothing, that he said that Asensu intends to give the delegates 5,000 and he will pay him. I think that the one who pays most, given their history of a one-term MP, the one who pays most will win on Saturday.
You say it will be a battle of the pockets. Whichever candidate can pay more will win that particular seat. Let me bring in Musa Dankwa in on this one as we talk about the Bantama constituency. Good morning to you, sir. Because you put the incumbent at a 94% chance of winning based on the constituents that you interviewed, and Ralph Ejapon at 1%. Will it come down to who pays more?
Right. Thank you very much for having me. You see, no elections are the same. Probably Kennedy thought that his performance in Bantama could translate to a vote for his brother. But when we spoke to the delegates and we asked them to rate the performance of their MP, almost 99% rated him excellent or very good. From this point, you could realize that they're going to vote for the incumbent in bloc. Now, when we asked them, okay, who would you vote for in the election? Asensu-Boakye is on 94%. Raphael Ajapon is on 1%. Undecided 2%. Undisclosed 3%.
Right.
Usually, if a candidate has a chance and people fear the establishment, you see higher number of people saying they're not disclosing.
Right.
In this case, it's a very, very small proportion of delegates who are saying they won't disclose. This means that the window for Rafael to win the seat is really, really, really slim.
Now, Ralph Ejapong has said on many occasions that the Bantama constituency has not seen a lot of development, and Francis Asenso Boachi. We also heard from his older brother, same. He says that there hasn't been much development, and in fact, he went on to say that if the constituents actually vote for Honorable Asenso Boachi, he will be revealing more, he will be spilling more secrets, as it were. What effect is that going to have on the votes? You think that is still, notwithstanding the percentages, will remain the same, 94%, 1%?
Let's look at it this way. We asked the delegates whether they believe they have received a fair share of their development under the leadership of the MP. 99% said yes. The question is, what you see as development may not be what the delegates see as development. For those who are close with the power to elect the MP, 99% said they have seen their fair share of development.
Okay.
I mean, Kennedy may have said all sorts of things, and some of this probably could even backfire, because they believe that his utterances is probably not auguring well for his brother, and the threats are not doing him any favor. And from what we have seen, the outcome of the election would not change. There may be slight changes in the percentages, but the outcome will not change.
Let me bring in Ben Efson on this particular one. Again, talking about the Kennedy or Ohene Ejapong factor. Do you think that has done more to hurt or help his brother's campaign?
Please come again.
I was asking about the Kennedy Ejapong factor. Some of the pronouncements that have been made. Would you say that did more to help or hurt his brother's campaign?
Oh, I think that it will help the brother's campaign. The brother has nothing to lose, virtually new in politics, in the constituency. And I think that, Kennedy's performance in the flag bearership election shows that he's a force to reckon with within the NPP circles and among the delegates. And I suspect that maybe the last 2-3 days, he will spend it in Bantama. So that constituency, and with its history of one term and you are out, is going to be very interesting in that constituency.
So you would say that from where you sit or from where you stand, lawyer Ralph Ejapong has a good chance?
Yes, has a good chance. I don't think that if Asensu wins, it will be a landslide. It's going to be very, very tight.
Very interesting there from our two different posters, with Global Info Analytics putting Honorable Asenso Boachi as the front runner with some 94%. Benefson says that actually we could see a win by a slim margin given the Kennedy Ohene Ejapong factor. Let's park it for the Bantama constituency. Let's turn our attentions to Dome-Kwabenya, and that's another constituency that's quite hot. It's heating up. It's a three-way race, you would say, Benefson.
Yes, it is three-way. Adwa Safu and the Okwe. I said okay because, former Speaker Professor Michael Okwe was the MP there. Adwa Safu had come 2 terms, and in the last delegates elections, towards I think 2020, Adwa Safu won by 8 votes. Now, clearly, Adwa Safu has displeased a lot. First, listeners, you need to bear in mind that Adwa Safu's father, Apostle Safu, lives in the constituency.
That's right.
Yes, and he has quite a number of his church members registered as delegates. But for the neutrals who have been voting for Adwa Safu, they got really pissed off by his absence from parliament, and what really got to some of them was his dancing on TikTok, like teasing them and so on. So you see that Michael Okwe will have his, if even Adwa Safu, if Adwa Safu has a block of 60-40%, I think that the third candidate, Sheila, will eat more into the dissatisfied supporters of Adwa Safu. This is a constituency that if OK wins, I will not be too surprised. I mean, I just have to, talking to some of his ardent supporters, they got really pissed off. The last one which broke the camel's back was teasing virtually their supporters. I mean, he's dancing on TikTok. Yes, you may have problems with your family. You have to dance on TikTok to kind of tease them. So that one is going to be, and Sheila coming in, I just have winning by 8 votes, 8 delegate votes in the run-up to 2020. And moving on with his attitude, Sheila will take more of Adjoa Safo's vote, because those who are with Adjoa Safo, the Dome-Kwabenya had been divided into 2. And those who are with Adjoa Safo, they will prefer to vote for Sheila than vote for Okwe. So Okwe's votes will kind of be more solid and unified.
So that, if I understand what you're saying, if you were to rank it, you would put Michael Okwe Jr. as number 1, Sheila Sechi as number 2, with Sarah Adjoa Safo as number 3.
I think that Sheila will be number 3. Adjoa Safo will still be 2, but with a reduced margin from 2020.
Okay. Now, Global Info Analytics puts Sheila Sechi and Adjoa Safo in as joint contenders with 10% apiece. Michael Okwe Jr. at 43%. Let's find out from Musa Dankwa what the temperature was like when you sampled the constituents in Dome-Kwabenya.
Right. Dome-Kwabenya, as my senior brother said, is divided into 3 right now, with the solid support of Michael Okwe Jr. being firm. His guys are very firm as who they want to elect. But then when you come to Adjoa Safo block, that's where there's a division as well. And you have Adjoa Safo having her core support, and that front is being divided by Sheila, Sechi. Now, the poll we did, it's clear that, from what we stand, Michael Okwe was going to win Dome-Kwabenya. The second and third place is a battle between Adjoa Safo and Sheila. Now, if you look at the delegates, in fact, Michael Okwe is winning both male delegates and female delegates. And that's the problem for Adjoa Safo. If you cannot retain the female vote in the constituency, I think you will be finished. And that's what we are seeing in Dome-Kwabenya. We expect Michael Okwe to win Dome-Kwabenya comfortably.
A lot has been made about Adjoa Safo's absence from Parliament for over a year. In speaking with the constituents, how important a factor was that in them making a decision to either retain her or move on with somebody else?
I think it is almost about 90% of the decision they are taking. Some even go ahead to blame her for Ghana going to the IMF. If she had been there earlier, we wouldn't have gone to IMF. So there are all sorts of allegations against her.
They put our IMF woes on Adjoa Safo's shoulders.
Absolutely, because of the e-levy passage. So if we had passed the e-levy much earlier, we wouldn't have gone to IMF. And for that reason, they want to get her out.
So that is an unforgivable crime in their eyes, for which they will vote her out.
Absolutely. And in fact, some of them, if you ask them to rate her, they are fair in their rating, but they don't want her to go back to Parliament.
Well, Ben Nefson also makes mention of Adjoa Safo's father's influence. Did that have any bearing on some of the decisions that were made or will be made?
Adjoa Safo's father's influence is largely in the Taifa North and Taifa South. So if there are delegates that will heavily influence, they will come from Taifa North and Taifa South. It's in the general election that is much more formidable. In the delegate Congress, I don't think his power will be so much that he can twist the race in favor of his daughter. I mean, for Adjoa Safo, I think this is the end of her road in Dome-Kwabenya as far as NPP is concerned.
Want to certainly watch on Saturday, the 27th of January. Now, when we talk about the Insam Aderi constituency, from where you sit as well, talk to us about the poll there and the results.
I mean, another umpire is going to win his seat. Period.
Okay.
I mean, he's going to win his primaries on Saturday.
Hands down.
Hands down, yes.
Okay. And Ben Efson, that's something that you also echo, that Anna Dompre is retaining that seat, no questions asked.
Yes, I don't go. Usually, be having a busy, but he retained the seat. But I mean, you have to dig deep in his pocket. You see, all over the country, for both political parties, when it comes to these internal elections, for them it's their cocoa season. You know, I mean, the MPs, they win the seat 2 years, 2.5 years, they don't mind them. A year and a half to voting, they start coming back, and this is their cocoa season. So another Dompre will sweat. I mean, without Siak contesting him, another Dompre would have virtually gone unopposed. But this time he has to he's digging deeper into his pockets.
And you say that will be the decider for the day. Okay, not too much to dissect in that particular constituency, as both of you say that it is Anna Dompre who will be taking the day January 27. Now, Ben Efson, I know you didn't mention Bejai as one of your hotspots. We will come to Tano North in a second, but Bejai has been an equally hotbed of issues. You've got COP retired Alex Mensah running, and that has come with a lot of controversy. We've seen Joe Wise throw his weight behind him, going ahead of the reports from the committee that was probing the IGP leak tape. From where you sit, what do you make of the Bejai constituency, and in particular the controversy that surrounds one particular candidate, COP Alex Mensah?
Well, I think that for our listeners, I need to give a bit of a background. You know, Joe Wise, the first deputy speaker, originally beat Ralph's father as an independent about 2-3 terms ago. You know, the other contestant who is contesting is like eventually two-headed race between COP retired Mensah and Ralph. And Joe Wise obviously has a bone to contend with Ralph's father, you know, so they're quite kind of divided into two. And I've been monitoring Ralph's performance in terms of helping them. No, in these elections, Helen, the one who gets his or her supporters elected as delegates wins the day.
Okay.
And I think that Ralph over time has quietly been able to get more. So I think that even though the outgoing MP is Joe Wise, I think that Ralph will win. Ralph will be COP retired Mensah.
Okay, let's speak with Mr. Danko on this one as well. So for the Bejai constituency, the results as per your sampling is as follows. You've got Kingsley Ajamang 0%, Henry Opokuwari 1%, you've got Ralph Poku Edusei 20%, and you put COP retired Alex Mensah at 11%. Talk us through these results.
Right. I agree with what Uncle Ben said. We expect Ralph Poku to win the Bejai seat. At the moment, he's leading by 9%. But if you look at the delegates who said they will not disclose their party, their voting intention, about 48% of them said they will not disclose their voting intention. And these are people who don't go with establishment. And for now, the COP's George Alexis support has come from Joe Wise, the establishment. For that matter, these guys will definitely want to punish Joe Wise for that. Even though they rate Joe high, Joe Wise as having performed well.
Right.
They don't want him to bring anybody to succeed him. For that matter, I believe they will vote for Ralph Opoku Edusei come Saturday.
Now, I know you have to run and leave us quite shortly, so I'll pick your brain on this one, and then we'll carry on with Ben Efson. What about the element of certain parties going independent? So, for example, in Dome-Kwabenya, should Adra Safo lose, as is being predicted by yourself and Ben Efson on Saturday, if she runs as an independent candidate, what would be her chances? And then expand that to others who may want to go independent. Would that be the route to go?
Now, with Dome-Kwabenya, whether Adwa Safo goes independent or not, MPP will have it very difficult there because people will not rally behind Makokwe. But if she goes independent, that would be a nail in the coffin of Makokwe's chances. Because she had a very strong support in her area. Dome-Kwabenya, especially the Taifa North and Taifa South, contributes over 45% of the winning margins of MPP in the entire constituency. So if they are to shake or have a challenge in those two areas, that will be it for MPP in Dome-Kwabenya. So my hope is that she doesn't go independent. But if she does, it will help them. And everywhere else, if people decide to go independent on MPP's ticket, already they are on the back foot on this election. And to have your vote against split, that will be a disaster for the parliamentary arithmetic.
So, and what about, say, for example, in the Bantama constituency, should a lawyer Rafi Japon run as an independent candidate? Could that shake things up, given his brother's influence?
I don't feel that. But Bantama is solid MPP regardless. And we haven't seen mass affection for Pastor Bantama in the constituency at this stage. On that note, I don't think anybody can win Bantama as an independent candidate. Absolutely not.
Thank you so much for your time and for your insights on this issue. Of course, Saturday is just right around the corner. We'll be connecting after the primaries and we'll take a look. We'll juxtapose Global Info Analytics results against what the actual results are, and we'll have some more on that. Thank you so much.
Thank you too.
Again, Musa Dankwa is a pollster, Global Info Analytics. Benefson still on the line with us. And Bena, I'll ask you that same question. The element of going independent, do you think that is a route that Sarah Adwa-Safo should embark on? And what type of effect would that have on Dome-Kwabenya and the elections as a whole?
Oh, I think that if Adwa-Safo goes independent, for the NPP supporters, he performed very poorly. When we talk to some of them, some of the swing voters, they felt really pissed off. I mean, the TikTok dancing was the last straw, and most of them referred to it. That yes, without that TikTok video, they felt that, he had children there schooling, one was sick. They actually sympathized.
Right.
But they felt that the TikTok dancing was like rubbing it in their faces. He goes independent. I don't think that even the swing voters will vote for her. They will really, really want to punish her.
Are there any candidates who you think would perform well as independent candidates outside of the NPP party?
I doubt. I mean, the last one, I think it will be quite close to be between Vida Prempe and Gideon Bwakun. That is going to be, I think Vida is going his third or fourth term, and Gideon Bwakun. And the one who has got his delegates elected will carry the day. That's going to be another close battle.
So this is Tano North.
Yeah, that's Tano North.
Okay, yes. And you are predicting a close battle come Saturday?
Yes.
That's certainly one constituency to watch. But overall, from where you sit, thinking about the NPP party, as the primaries have continued on and the different candidates have embarked on their campaigns, there have been some chat about it, some disunity in the party. Do you think that these are just internal squabbles that the party will be able to overcome after the primaries have been concluded?
Well, yes. I think that surprisingly this year the party had come out very firm and clear on the little disputes within the constituency. We have about virtually 10 more months, and 2024 is not going to be chicken play. It is going to be really, really tight. And I think that the way the NPP national leadership has handled the internal squabbles, I don't think that I'd be surprised if anyone who loses will go independent in the various constituencies.
So you believe that after the primaries, these small squabbles, some may say, or these internal squabbles will not affect the party going into the 2024 general elections?
at all. I mean, you go independent, as they say, you sack yourself from the party.
Well, Ben Efson, thank you so much for that insight. Thank you for honing in on some of these hotspots for us. Of course, on Saturday, right here at the Election Command Center, we'll be zoning into the NPP primaries and giving you a taste of everything that is going on. So again, Ben, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
And that was our conversation with pollsters Ben Efson and Musa Dankwa, getting some insight as to what it's going to be like in some of these hotspots that we've been highlighting throughout the weeks as Saturday rages on. We'll be talking some more about the NPP primaries. This is still 3FM Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. And by talking some more, we invite you to give us your views, your comments, your thoughts, even your questions. They're most welcome. We are at 3FM 92.7 across the board. Do let your views be heard.